Hey, it's Grady at Twin Creek Audio, and is my studio finished? It's partially finished. The control room now is usable at least, although I do have a few finishing touches to accomplish in here, but let me go ahead and update you on what I've done in here. First, I had to put the Soundcraft Sapphyre console back together because I took it apart. I took all the modules out in order to move it because it's just too heavy to move without disassembling it somewhat. My last two videos detail the process of putting this console back together and then cleaning it up. At that point, I had to sit down and plan what my patch bays were going to be like. So I used Google Docs, and I made a list of all my outboard rack gear, and then I proceeded to plan how I was going to connect everything to these patch bays. There is one internal patch bay here on the Soundcraft Sapphyre, which is a TT or Bantam style patch bay, and then I have two 48-point external patch bays that are over in the rack. So that process took a significant amount of planning. And then soldering a lot of connections onto the snakes for the internal patch bay, and then getting the correct patch cables to patch in preamps and things over here to the external patch bay. The external patch bays are 1/4 inch. I'll go over more detail of how these patch bays are set up in a future video, but let's move on to the next thing. I also completed soldering all of the XLRs onto the snakes for the Otari MX-70 1-inch 16-track tape machine. Otari MX-70 used a different hot pin than modern XLR connections, so I had to solder the snakes for it accordingly. I also made this cool stand for the remote control for the MX-70 out of an old music stand, and then I put some furniture casters on it so that it can move around. I would have used regular wheel casters, but that would have made this music stand too tall. So the stand for the Otari MX-70 is made out of an old Manhasset music stand. It was kind of rusty, so I sanded it down a little bit and I painted it brown because that's the only color of spray paint that I had laying around. I'm really trying to repurpose things I already have rather than spending a lot of money, because each step in the process of building this new studio has been something I had to save up money for, then complete the process, then save more money for the next step. So those of you that think YouTube makes a lot of money for me would be wrong. I also had to get some new monitors. My Yamaha NS10s fit on the shelf that we built, which was also in a previous video. Now you have the shelf bracket that's mounted to the wall, and then you have the little mouse pad insulator there between the bracket and the wooden shelf. But my KRKs would not fit on this shelf, so I purchased a set of Kali LP-UNF, the ultra near field monitors. The Kali LP-UNFs are going to be pretty good for this room because the back wall over here is not that far away. And so these work really well, and I have the NS10s as well. So due to the fact that the wall across from the console and the studio monitors is relatively close, I did some sound treatment. I got some Soundsbay hexagon wall treatment, or room treatment, whatever you want to call it, off of Amazon. And yes, there will be an affiliate link to those in the video description. I found that they work quite well and they were very easy to install. I left some gaps up there so I can put another color, like an accent color, and I'm going to go with dark gray for that so it matches the bass traps that I've put up in the corners of the control room. At this point, I have the console put back together, I have the patch bays mapped out, and I've soldered all the correct connections for all my rack gear onto the snakes for the internal patch bay, and I've connected the other things like preamps that are in this rack to two 1/4 inch 48-point patch bays that are located in the rack. I also connected some tie lines from the 1/4 inch patch bay to a row over here on the internal patch bay, and that's mainly because the preamps are over in this rack, but the tape inputs are in the internal patch bay. I'll go over the patch bays here in the control room in much more detail in a future video. Also installed these new track lights so that I don't have to use the big LED stand lights that I've used in pretty much all of my previous videos. So I think this looks really nice, and this will allow me to light things a lot better for future videos without taking up so much floor space. So the control room here at the studio is almost complete. And the next major project will be finishing the live tracking room. I wanted the tracking room to have kind of a rustic feel since there's already a lot of wood in there. I've got the nice wood shelves on one side of the room. And so I installed a light fixture with some Edison bulbs and mason jar style fixtures that hang at different levels, and I think that thing looks really cool. and it matches the cool tin ceiling in here. So the next steps to finish the tracking room are going to be to finish installing the floors, finish painting, and install the mic and headphone patch panel and get those run through the wall in here to the rack. I think the new studio is going to be great, especially since it's mainly for my own private use and for friends, and then also for YouTube videos. If you're interested, make sure to check back on all of the other studio update and studio build videos that I've done previously to this one. I know I haven't done every single detail of every step of the way, but it's pretty difficult. It was really difficult to film behind this console when I was running all the cables, so I didn't really put a lot of that in there. Make sure to check out the console resurrection video where Sammy from the Sammy in the High Eights YouTube channel came to town to help me reassemble the Soundcraft Sapphyre and test out the Otari MX-70. I also made a video about cleaning up the Soundcraft Sapphyre, including washing all these fader caps. So that's pretty interesting. So make sure to check out all my previous studio build and studio update videos. Also make sure to check out my website, twincreekaudio.com. I've put together a ton of different resources for the viewers of this channel and other recording enthusiasts. The site also has some pages to tape machine supplies and other audio gear, and those are Amazon affiliate links that do help support this channel. I'll be back with another update and a video about how these patch bays are set up in the near future, and until then, I hope each and every one of you out there has an excellent and wonderful day, night, evening, weekend, weekday, hour, minute, second, nanosecond, whatever it is you're having. Have a good one. Thanks so much for watching.